everyone. Welcome to Accessible Adventures. I'm Colwyn Dunlap, also known as Colwyn the Conqueror on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. This is my friend Frances Wampler.
Hey everybody, I'm just Frances Wampler. I don't have any of those cool things behind my name like you do. So,
Whatever. Hey, you're a travel agent. You have actual tips and tricks and stuff on all this stuff. I'm trying to be one, but you know.
I do. We'll get you plugged in somewhere.
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Sure.
All right. Well, so we have some announcements we want to make about what this is going to be and stuff like that. So, but first we want to introduce ourselves. I will go ahead and go first, and then Frances, you can go.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
take it.
Well, like I said, I'm Colwyn Dunlap. I am 38, going on 12, and I maybe 13. Yeah, whatever.
But, I'm not sure. I think 12 is accurate. When you said that, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
For sure.
But the one thing that we share in common is a condition called Arthrogryposis, multiplex congenita. I know, it's all long Latin words. Woo. Half the reason why.
Can you spell that for me?
I can. Do you want me to spend the 30 seconds it takes to do it?
No, but I'm glad you can spell it.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
That's usually what everybody asks me, so I had to learn how to spell it, you know. Especially my wife, whenever she still sometimes gets confused with it. And we've been married for 2 years almost. Woo. But we've known each other for 5, so, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Let me think. What else do I want to add? So, yeah, I have this condition. It has hindered me from getting mainstream jobs and everything, but it has not stopped me from living dreams. You know, I've been able to travel across the world to some extent. I've been able to live out many dreams that I feel blessed to have achieved. And I am currently a full-time streamer and a full-time game master. I run games on Start Playing games. Like I run games like Dungeons and Dragons and World of Darkness and all of those kinds of things. And that's how I make my money. I also have an inheritance that I received from my mother, who passed a few years ago. So woo. Let me think. Is there anything else I really want to cover? I don't think so. I think that's a good one. Frances, what about you? You go now. Your turn.
Plug for your mom before I introduce myself.
Oh, okay.
She would be so excited about this podcast. Like she was always like so excited about like all the things. But I think like looking at us doing this like years down the road, she'd be so excited.
Mm-hmm. She would be
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am Frances Wampler. Nice to be here today. I'm super excited about just talking about all things travel. I have arthrogryposis as well. Colwyn and I met 20?
No, it was longer. Years? It's been longer. So I think I was 16. So I think it's been like 22, almost 23 years ago.
Almost 23 years. Yes. So I'm 34. We met each other a long time ago when I was a lot less cool than I am now. Or maybe I thought I was cooler back then. I'm not really sure.
When you're 10, were cooler back then.
Like 10, you are like the deal when you're 10. So anyway.
Mom and I used to refer to you as Bulletproof Franny.
Oh my gosh. You know, people still call me Franny.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It just like, I don't know, it comes up.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, that's her name, and so I ignore it, and then I respond to it, and they're like, yay, it's sticking. So you know, it's fine. But yeah, I love to travel. I never have let arthrogryposis slow me down.
Amen.
Ever, which is probably why y'all refer to me as Bulletproof Franny. Mm-hmm. I have been married for almost 11 years, and we have 3 wild little boys, 15, 9, and 7, and they definitely keep us keep us on our toes. And in that same vein, like, they want to be going and doing and traveling, and I want to experience all of those fun things with them. I don't want arthrogryposis to have a play in that at all. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to make it however it is easy for us to do, and we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. So,
yeah.
That's me. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. We could say that, we should say that where we met was actually at a summer camp specifically for kids with arthrogryposis, sponsored by our hospital, Scottish Rite Hospital for Children in Dallas, Texas. We're both, I don't know if we're proud Texans, but we're definitely Texan. Yeah.
I think we're proud Texans. We've been here our whole life. We have to.
Well, you have been. I moved up to Washington State for a few years, and then I came back.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. I forget about that. Gray area of your life.
Gray area of my life. Yeah.
When you left Texas.
Yeah. Gray area because it's gray up there because it just nonstop rain and clouds, which I loved it. But proud to be back in Texas.
Well, we're glad. We are definitely glad that you're back. Peaceable Kingdom has like the hugest piece of my heart. Like started
That's
going when I was 10. Oh yeah, sorry you didn't say that. Peaceable Kingdom retreat for children in Waco, or
it was right outside of Killeen.
Right outside of Killeen, close to Fort Hood.
It's not Fort Hood anymore. I think it's like Fort Chavez or something now.
Okay, well, back in the day, like we said, 22 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what it was, and went for a long time, like almost like 11 years, 12 years maybe. Loved that place. Made some really good connections. We also went to Lions Camp. I think that your mom got my mom hooked up in Kerrville. I love that place too. They're doing like a retreat.
A retreat, weekend. Yeah. We couldn't make it.
I know. We couldn't either. Getting old. Life.
Yep.
Yeah. But all the fun places that you enjoy whenever you're young. But then you get to make these connections like we have, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Yep. So go ahead.
No, okay. I don't want to talk
about it. So what I was going to say was, one of the things that also I have AMC, and one of the reasons why we are here is because we are both huge Disney files. We're both huge Disney World fans. And AMC is actually one of the reasons that I got to live out my dream of going to Disney World. Because the first AMC convention I went to as an adult was at Disney World. And it was the main reason that I went to Disney World, because they were there, and I got to network with a lot of cool adults and parents and families with AMC. And, I just was like, I love Disney. I fell in love with Disney World as soon as I went. And then whenever we got married, my wife and I were like, all right, so what are we going to do for a honeymoon? We both love Disney. We both love their movies, everything iffy about the company as a whole, but love the theme parks and the entertainment that they give us.
Yeah. I was an adult the first time I went too. My husband grew up going to Disney, and he was like, we have to go. We have to take the kids. We only had 2 kids at the time when we went.
Yeah.
For our first time, but
yeah,
loved it.
That's the other thing was I planned out all of our trip for our first year, for our first time going as our honeymoon. Because we were initially going to look into going to Disneyland Paris, but that would have been way too expensive. So we were like, let's go to
goals.
Yeah, let's go to Disney World then. Okay, cool. Doing that. I planned it all out, and then literally like 2 months after we get back, I see that Frances has become a travel agent specifically working with Disney, and I was like, I don't want to plan my own trip again. I want somebody that I know and trust can do it. So I reached out to you, and you've actually done one trip for us, right? Is it just one? You've technically done 2, but we haven't gone on the second one.
Yeah, I was gonna say 1 + 1 is still we're still cooking the Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah.
But yeah, this will be our second trip to plan together. And planning for Disney's a lot.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a lot of work. So, sponsor plug for our first
Yeah, go
episode.
for it.
Yeah, so I am a travel agent specializing in Disney. So our first episode here of Accessible Adventures is brought to you by Starts with a Wish Travel by Frances. You can find us on the internet, startswithawishtravel.com, and then you can also find us on social media. Right now, I'm pretty heavy on Facebook, so Starts with a Wish Travel by Frances. I tried the TikTok thing, and it's, fine. There's quite a few people on TikTok that are talking about Disney, and so I was like, I'm not there. I don't have as many videos. I have more photos, and so that's something that it's just kind of on simmer. But you can find us on Facebook, or you can shoot us an email. Starts with a Wish Travel by France. I think it's Frances at startswithawishtravel.com.
It is.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because we communicate there as well. So I'm glad you know.
Yep.
I'm glad you know.
I'll put all of that in. I'll put all of that information in our description, on YouTube, and if there's an availability for me to put it on any of the other things through Buzzsprout, which is our platform that we're going to be using to publish our podcast, I will do that as well. Let me think.
Anything else I missed about that? We specialize in all things Disney.
And Universal.
And Universal. So, my guilty as charged is we haven't been to Universal. So I do plan Universal trips for folks like Colwyn and his wife, but we haven't been. And so I feel less knowledgeable. I'm like, yes, I can help you. Absolutely, I can. I'm going to tell you all about it, even though I haven't been there. So we're looking forward to going soon.
Yeah, and we have because, the 2 times that we went, I planned a Universal trip for us as well, and then you planned the other one, and I mean, we have had a lot of fun there. I mean, the picture that's up there is of me at Universal Studios last year when Jurassic Park, one of my all-time favorite movies, had their 30th anniversary, and they had this massive exhibit in the studio store. And so that brings me to a question that I prefaced in our pre-recording discussion. So at either the first or the second of Camp Just Like Me at Peaceable Kingdom, did you stay up with us and watch Jurassic Park in the theater? I don't remember if you were there.
I don't think so. So I remember the first year, I'm 10 and too cool for school. And I do remember that year, the older kids and the counselors coming in really late and being really loud, upstairs. And I remember telling one of the counselors the next day, I'm like, they didn't invite me to stay up late. And they were so loud when they came in last night.
Yeah, that sounds like prima donna Franny too. Yeah.
I know. I know. I was kind of a mess. I think the first year I was a little nervous. I had not really met anyone with Arthrogryposis before. Maybe one other time. But mine and her kind of accessibility different. We were just so different. She was in a wheelchair and I wasn't. And so we just kind of we didn't click. You know what I mean? We didn't get to spend as much time together. It was wonderful to meet somebody, but we just didn't get that opportunity to spend time together. When you're fully immersed into a camp experience and you spend a week with kids that are younger than you and kids that are older than you. I thought you and Daniel were the coolest people I had ever met. I'm like, man, when I'm 16, it's going to be bomb.
Yeah.
So I think that first year I was a little skeptical. I used to be really shy. I say that, but I don't think people thought that I was.
No, I don't think we never really thought you were shy.
I really thought that I was. I really thought I was shy. I thought I was an introvert. Turns out I'm not an introvert. I'm probably not as shy as I thought that I was. But then I think that it just kind of took me some getting out of my shell. So no, long answer to your question of watching Jurassic Park in the theater. I don't think I was there, but I think I tattled on y'all for being loud when you came in.
Good.
Just saying.
Good.
Yeah. I was not invited to the 16-year-old party.
That doesn't make sense, because I thought we invited everybody, but maybe we may have done it after dinner or something along those lines. Like we may have gone back, and then like a couple of the counselors and even the staff there were like, "Hey, do you want to stay up late and watch movies?" Which I'm like, yes, I love movies. Let's go. So yeah,
yes.
Like I still love movies. It's that also didn't help my movie obsession. Like that's one of my lifelong goals, is to have a theater almost identical to that one on my own property. But I'm like, that was $1 million back then. How much is it going to cost now?
That was like the best theater. Like, if I think about all of my theater experiences, like, hands down, I think the only thing that would make it better is, like, the recliners with the little, food tray now. Like, that probably would have, like, stepped it up to, like, perfect. But otherwise, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Air hockey, pool tables, unlimited beverages.
NFL Blitz in the arcade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The big couches, the big rocking chairs on the porch that was covered, so even if it was raining, you could sit outside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we watched movies while there was a thunderstorm. That was one of the alternatives. Go to the theater and watch movies.
Yes.
While it was raining and storming outside.
Take me back.
Yeah. And so that's one of the reasons why this podcast exists, is because we are friends that have a passion for these kinds of things, and that we share in wanting to give advice and tips and tricks and everything to people that might be nervous about traveling, or people that just want to know more, especially if they have a physical condition. And that's gonna lead me into something else, is with that, along those lines, if you have a physical condition or you travel with somebody that does, and there's a way to leave a comment somewhere, if you have a question or a concern, or even a story to tell, put it in there, and we'll talk about it. We'll give you some advice if we know. We'll read your stories if you want it to be read. Because this is ultimately about awareness. This is really what this is about. It's about awareness. It's also just about building a community of people that are passionate about accessibility and travel, So, because we're going to talk about more than just travel with accessibility stuff.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, just along all of those lines, like, it's not just about Disney, it's not just about Universal, and it's not just about, like, arthrogryposis. Like, I think those are the areas that, like, we're probably going to chat about because that's our experience. But it's so much more than that. Really, it's about just, like, travel in general, having a disability and living life in general. It doesn't have to be arthrogryposis. Leave the comments, leave the questions. We want to hear from, like, the people that are listening, our following, our fans. We want to hear from y'all. But we want this to be empowering. Like, I've heard, from other people in, kind of our friend circle or our arthrogryposis circle, and it's like, I would love to do that, but, like, I just don't know that I could do X, Y, or Z, or I don't want to waste my money if I can't do it. And I'm like, Disney is the most accessible place on earth. And we can dive more into that in future episodes. But, like, I go to Disney and I don't feel like I'm missing out on any of the magic, any of the fun. And there are some ways to make some things a little easier, and we can share those tips along the way. But if you have questions about what we're talking about, we certainly want to hear what those are so we can respond to it and hear the successes and maybe educate some people along the way and just kind of converse about it. I'll talk about Disney all day long.
Yeah, same. Another thing that some people might be concerned about is, that how can I afford to do this? Because with a lot of people on disability, I was too, or having disabilities, I was on Social Security for the longest time, and you can't save up money because the government won't let you. But there are programs occasionally out there that Disney does and that other people will do that will give you opportunities to go. I can talk about those. I never really signed up for them, but I know they exist.
Yeah.
So I can mention those in future episodes, just to kind of help you out. Another thing that I want to talk about that's a bit more on the technical side of things is you will occasionally hear, at least on this episode, maybe even the next one, traffic sounds and stuff go by my house. I'm literally 50 feet away from a busy road in my town. You will also hear sirens because my apartment complex is literally across the street from a fire station. So, I apologize if you hear sirens or the Fast and the Furious of Travis County. So.
What do you mean? There's life happening around you? Like there's noises that we're gonna hear?
Well, yeah, but it's. I want to be professional, man. I want this to sound good and crisp and clean.
Hey, we're just two friends talking. If it sounds good, that's a plus.
True. Yeah, but I do have a sound card that I need to get a mic or at least a cord for that I can kind of, drown out the exterior sound for that.
Yeah, I think the perks for people that join us on episode 1 versus the people that start to listen in on episode 156 is it might look a little different, right? Like This is our first episode. We're just gonna grow, and hopefully our fans and followers and people that are listening in are gonna kind of grow with us. So good opportunities to just dive in and talk about real life. You may hear Bert. I live in the country, so
lucky,
kind of different. You might hear the dogs. You might hear some birds.
I do have 2 dogs. They occasionally go off for very little reason. So
if it thunders, the dogs are gonna be after it, and if the doorbell rings, they're gonna also be. They're also going to be pretty loud. So otherwise, hopefully they'll behave.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Alrighty.
All right.
So are we sticking to the agenda, Miss Lady over there?
Yeah. So we've done great. We really hit on a lot of the things that we wanted to talk about, but really just kind of giving you an overview of what to expect from us, what's to come. We have lots of things that kind of we have on our mind that we want to talk about as far as like traveling and, maybe diving into what arthrogryposis is a little bit more during those awareness months in June. A little plug there. I don't think that's on our list.
It's not.
It's not, but hey, we got to add that in.
My birthday month is also Arthrogryposis Awareness Month. Woohoo!
Yeah, my birthday is on Thanksgiving this year.
Oh gosh.
So, I know it's never fun when, you have pumpkin pie and turkey for your birthday. It's fine.
What are you talking about? That'd be a great birthday. I mean, but you're also celebrating Thanksgiving. I get it.
I know. Everybody's like, Happy Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for? And I'm like, y'all aren't thankful for me? It's my birthday. Everyone should say they're thankful for me.
Everyone should be thankful that I am here.
Exactly. I made it.
Yeah.
I made it. But really just giving people an overview of what Accessible Adventures is really what we wanted to accomplish today, what we want to talk about. But hopefully over time, like the questions and the conversations that we have with you all will kind of prompt more things for us to talk about. So definitely put those questions and comments down below. Hopefully as we grow things, we'll have some other ways to communicate with you guys. But for now, whatever ability that you have to comment or ask questions, definitely throw those in. Colwyn, I think we pretty much covered everything. Our target audience really is anybody with a physical disability, anybody that's caring for someone with a physical disability. But I also think about like those people that don't know anything about people with disabilities as well could also benefit. I mean, so I think really just anyone that has a heart for this kind of topic is going to benefit from what we're talking about. You can become educated on the people around you that have physical disabilities, and then if you have one, don't let travel kind of concerns slow you down. If you want to go on a wonderful vacation, we want to empower you to make sure that happens.
And we can help you plan it too.
We can help you plan it too. I cover all things Disney and a few other things like Universal, but we can also kind of help point you in the right direction if we don't specialize in those areas. And then just some things that we hope to talk about in the future, all the things we've already said, like traveling, what accessibility recommendations that we have. There's some tips and tricks that I've found when it comes to Disney, especially if I don't feel comfortable, maybe on a certain ride, or I'm not sure, like when a new ride kind of comes out. So some things we want to talk about there, talk a little bit more about arthrogryposis and how that affects both of us and kind of our journey and as friends, but also just as individuals and our different experiences. Did I cover it? What else? Anything else we need to let everybody know about?
Well, and part of that will also be that talking about our journey with arthrogryposis is discussing like how it affects our family lives. Both as married individuals, you as a parent. I'm working on that. But you as a parent, talking about the struggles in there and just what that means to you, not only as a parent, but also as someone that takes kids to, travel, and especially to a theme park as big as Disney or as Universal or anything like that, because that's a logistical nightmare to some extent.
It can be a logistical nightmare, absolutely. And I think I have a little bit of an interesting perspective too, not just like as a mom or as a wife, taking kids and your spouse, your 12-year-old spouse, to Disney. But my oldest son is also on the autism spectrum. So I've got some experience with some different types of disabilities and taking those individuals to a theme park. So some other areas that we can kind of plug some of our experience as well. Yeah. Okay. It's not an easy place for somebody to go that struggles with some of those things. So hopefully we've got, between the two of us, some good things for people to kind of tune in and listen to.
Yeah. So that's us. That's what we're wanting to do with this. That's what we believe. That's what we live within our experience on this planet and working here. So, do you want to close us out, or do you want to?
I can close us out.
All right.
Cool. I feel like that's pretty good for our first episode.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all tuning in. We will get things posted and start to kind of follow a pretty consistent schedule if we can keep our life in check.
Right.
Yeah. Getting things posted on a consistent day. I think we're aiming for Fridays, so we'll keep you posted. And hopefully we'll see you soon for episode 2 of Accessible Adventures. Thanks for being here today.
All right, guys. See y'all later.
Bye.